Hello, geometry students. So I am going to take you through lesson 1.1 of Foundations of Geometry for the Pathways program. I'm going to try to post one of these screencasts per week to kind of help you navigate through different lessons, questions that might come up. Our best bet, though, is to meet on Zoom those times that I posted in Google Classroom. But to remind you, those times are 8:51 to 9:26, which is your period 2, and 11:23 to 11:58, which is your period 6. So we can connect during those times, and I may have different classes in at that time, math classes, etc., but we can still connect and work out any issues that you're having. So let me show you. Also, I should mention that I'm also on Zoom after school, usually most days starting right at 12:40 up until 3. As many days of the week as possible. Can also connect with me there through Google Classroom by posting those questions. But I'm going to take you through lesson 1.1. You'll see that we have the overview, the study, checkup, and the quiz. So we're really going to look at the study in preparing you for the quiz. Okay, so this is going to kind of help you to navigate this. When you click here, for you, it'll say start. It's going to say resume for me because I've already looked through this lesson. But some of the important things here that we see, that if we would click here, it would bring up the study guide. If we click there, it'll open up a tab and bring up a study guide for you. Also, these words in light blue, they give you definitions. So if you click them, it gives you a definition. It'll read the definition to you if you click the speaker.
Induction. A way of thinking that uses observations to form a general rule.
Also, if you click down here,
a lot of what you know about the world comes from a kind of thinking called induction. You use this thinking every day when you form general ideas and rules based on your experiences and observations. For example, can you identify a pattern or rule in the table below?
Okay, so it'll read the page to you if you need that. But then it shows you with a pattern, the day of the week, whether or not the person had breakfast during that day of the week, and how they felt. Okay, so that's the information it gives you. And then based on this information in this chart, you would then make an induction about if I have breakfast in the morning, then I will have less energy, more energy, the same amount of energy each day. If you have breakfast, will you have less energy, more energy, or the same amount of energy? So that's just an example of one thing that you'll see in the program. All right, and here again, it gives you, as you go onto the next screen, again, it gives you information, but it also gives you definitions and reads them aloud to you as you need them, but there's information there. And so again, here it can read it to you, but then it also, if you click down on this box here, what are induction and conjecture, it gives you further information as you look in this box. But again, it'll read the text to you here, shows you the definitions again, shows you this definition again. And notice it doesn't read it to you anymore, I guess, because they already read it, so they're not clicking it again. They're not reading it to you again, but you could have heard that on a previous page. All right, again, it gives you more information here about what a conjecture is, and then based on that, you would answer the question. Which the following is a conjecture you can make based on the data. So again, looking at the data here, the day of the week, how much sleep a person got, did they get 8 or more hours of sleep, and how they felt, you would then click on the answer you think is correct, and then click next. All right, so here, again, we have information about things that are inductive, a way to use observations to form a general rule, or conjectures, statements that appear to be correct based on observations but have not been proven or disproven. Okay, so information there. And then here's a few examples for these patterns. All right, click on the conjecture button to see if your conjecture is correct. All right, the dot below is beginning of another geometric pattern called triangular numbers. Click the build a triangle button and see if you can find a pattern. So as you click this, okay, and then it asks if you can see a pattern. I'm sure you can, but it asks if you can see a pattern. Okay, so once again, the dot below is the beginning of a geometric pattern, a different pattern based on a different rule. So here's the pattern. It's saying to build a square this time. So again, if you click it, you're going to see what happens as you go through that. Okay, here's another geometric pattern called a Sierpinski triangle, made by removing smaller triangles from the larger one. Okay, that kind of shows you what happens as you go through that. Right, I like this because I like patterns and things like this. Think about how you can extend a geometric pattern below and then step through the slideshow to see possible next steps. Okay, so it's kind of if you add different things, what would happen to the pattern. All right, you can use other shapes to build patterns. Think about how you can use induction to determine the pattern, then click each shape to see if you're right. Okay, so if you click the shapes, it opens up another tab. Okay, it's slow because I'm on Screencastify, but those screens will load for you and you can see those patterns. But it'll be quicker for you because you're not making a screencast as you're going through yours. All right, with a little practice, you'll be able to make conjectures about many different types of patterns. Okay, conjectures shows you the different types. Okay, and about ways to use induction, click the button below to begin. The play button, sorry.
When you see a group of geometric objects, it is useful to figure out how they relate, or how their parts relate, and to state those relationships as clearly as possible.
Okay, so you could click and watch that video that they need you to watch to complete the screen, and then the next one. Okay, so categorization of the figures, three-sided figures, four-sided figures. Okay, group the shapes by dragging the three-sided figures into the top box and the four-sided below. So that should be pretty easy for you. Obviously, you want to drag three-sided figures where they belong, four-sided figures where they belong, etc. Nothing too difficult. You guys can easily do that for sure. This one, a little bit harder, but again, which have equal sides and which don't. This would appear to have equal sides. This certainly would not. So you'd want to drag all of those to where they belong. Right. Here's more information here. Finding the next step, which of the following is most likely the next step of the pattern. So looking at the letters, numbers, letters, what would make the most sense to be next. So looking at that. So see if you can figure that out. Click the answer that you think. Hit submit. Symmetry. So things that are the same on one side to the other, just like your face has symmetry, an eye on each side. You made a line down the center of your face, your nose would be in half your mouth, etc. So ear on both sides, so symmetry. So it's talking here about experimenting with symmetry. And you can click on the box. See what happens. There we go. Okay, so more about symmetry here. And still more things about symmetry. The house, draw a line of symmetry. So it's going to let you, where do you think? Maybe you can do a little bit better than I could there, but you then draw lines of symmetry and submit. And it looks like you have to do 4 different things there. All right, symmetry and lines of symmetry. Okay, again, gives you information in the box here if you click. More review. Lines of symmetry, which of the following is a line of symmetry? So you have to look at line A in green, blue for B, purple for C, orange D. Which of those are lines of symmetry? Which of the following is a line of symmetry? So click the one you think and submit. Looks like you have 3 different to do there. It says, congratulations, you're ready to take sample questions, which are here for the quiz. And then you'll be ready to take the quiz. So after you finish this lesson, you can take the quiz. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, see me on Zoom or on Google Classroom if you have any questions. I hope this was helpful.